Hello and welcome back. My name is India and I happen to read a lot. And today we are finally no longer looking at 2025. We are literally saying goodbye to 2025. She's gone, she's done. We don't want to talk to her anymore. We're over her. Today we are focusing our attention on 2026 and what reading for me is going to be like in 2026. I'm filming this on the 7th. It comes out on the 8th. We've had a week already in January. So in that time, I have read 2 books. I've read Searching for Juliet by Sophie Duncan and Revolve by Bal Cabra. I am very close to finishing Pride and Prejudice by Jane Austen. And later on, I plan on reading the 9th volume of Free Run. So we're doing really well. By the time this video comes out, which is tomorrow, I feel like we'll be 4 books into the year, which is very good. But today we're gonna be focusing on all the goals, challenges, aspirations I have, and the plan I wanna set for my reading in 2026. This is one of my favorite things to do. I love it so much. I think it's such a fun video. I like being able to, as much as I love reflecting on 2025, I really do like looking towards the future and think, what exciting books am I gonna read today? What's gonna be my favorite book of the year? What do I have planned? Can't wait. Let's jump in and talk about it. So first up, I always want to start with a personal goal. So last year, my personal goal was to be more creative, and I definitely think I've done that. This is my Pokemon themed bullet journal. Here she is. This is my bullet journal where I will kind of talk about some things. So we've got my 100 books that I want to read, my sequels, as you can see, already filled out. My 26 books in 2026, there will be a video of that. And then like my physical TBR ones. So they're all these goals, right? I loved doing my bullet journal last year. I'm coming back to doing that. That has allowed me to be super creative. Obviously, this YouTube channel has allowed me to be creative. I feel like I've achieved that in 2025. This year is a very different goal. It's a little bit more specific. I just want to watch more movies. I want to see more movies. I want to go to the cinema more. I want to do a lot more like solo movie watching, going to the cinema by myself. I recently watched The Housemaid. I went with some friends and I loved it. And it just made me sit there and go, wow, I just don't go to the cinema that much anymore. And I don't actually watch that many movies. And I miss that and I want to do it. So that is my goal for 2026 personally. If I feel that I do really well, maybe I'll do a film bullet journal for 2027, who knows. Now going into my actual book focuses, my book goals, we start off with the one that everybody starts off with more or less, which is my reading goal. So for 2026, my reading goal is going to be back to my original form of 100 books. Last year, I challenged myself to read 75 and I read 108. So I just realized 100 is a very good baseline number for me to have as a goal every year. I don't ever see myself increasing my goal, ever. I just don't. I feel like 100 is something where it's attainable on my worst years. Like last year was probably my worst year for reading. And then obviously I've done 160 before. So I definitely feel like 100 is a good middle ground. I don't see myself doing anything more than that. I think 100 books is incredibly achievable. Then we're going to do my sequels challenge. So for those of you who don't know, this is a challenge that I've been doing since the dawn of time. I think I started my blog in about 2019 and that challenge has been alive since then. The sequels challenge is a very simple challenge, is what it says on the tin. I need to read one of each of my series in the year. I have about 58 series ongoing currently, and normally my goal was to read one of those books a month. Incredibly achievable when I only had about 20 series going on, but as the massive manga reader that I am, I'm looking at my manga shelves right now, I've started so many different series as well as book series and all of that kind of stuff that I have now had to, now I'm looking at my story graph, sequels challenge, and listing all the books I could potentially read, and there's 58. Fucking hell. So we are saying goodbye to 12 books a month. That was really good for early Reader India. It is no longer good for present Reader India. And we are now increasing that to 20 books. I think that's easy. I think it's super easy. Like I said, I have loads of manga series. I could do my original 12 on manga series alone. My third book related challenge is my physical TBR challenge. Again, very simple. What it says on the tin. I own a shit ton of fucking books. You do not want to see my house right now. This room alone has 2 bookcases. I have a 3rd bookcase in one room and then 2 Billy bookshelves, the big kind, in another room. We have many books in this house. My poor boyfriend has one small bedside table that is his. The rest of the space is for my books. I really just want to make sure that I'm tackling the books that I bought. I'm one of those classic people that gets really excited about a book, buys it, and then it just sits on the shelf. I don't know why we do this as readers. I don't know what it is. I'm a big fan of having a library. I like the look of books in a house. I do think as well as being a fun read. It also looks really nice and decorative. And everybody, when we put up these fancy IKEA shelves, and I posted on my Instagram, all of my friends said it looks really nice in my living room with all the shelves. And I think this is really nice. That being said, I do like to tackle my physical TBR. Over the years, we've gone from 25 all the way up to 40 books on my TBR. And I read 51 books on my TBR last year. So I think that's incredibly doable. I think it's incredibly achievable to reach 50 again. So my goal this year is to read 50 books from my physical TBR. I think 50 is incredibly easy to achieve. And then we have a focus. So over the last couple of years, I used to be someone that would give myself an additional challenge, like each month's got to be a different theme and some other fancy stuff. And I've also had things like every August I set myself a little challenge. So it was read 30 novels in 30 days, 30 manga volumes in 30 days. Last August, I did a romance book only focus. I don't really plan on doing that this year. I plan on doing a year-long focus. And the focus for this year is going to be manga. In 2024, I read 52 manga volumes. In 2025, because I was a little bit manga'd out, I read 21, 24. I did not feel that last year I read enough manga as someone who absolutely loves it. I do not feel like I reached my potential. And I started some really good series. I started the Apothecary Diaries. I am really getting myself into Yona of the Dawn. All these really fun series that I'm really enjoying that I'm like, why am I just... And especially what I will do... Sorry, I'm just like all over the place today. Especially what I will do is I will read one and then I will wait like 8 months and then maybe read the second one, or sometimes a year. And I'm like, I can't keep doing that. So I just want to really focus each month on a specific series. I own loads of manga volumes that I'm just not reading because I'm like, oh, I need to wait till the time's right. When's the time gonna be right, babe? When's it gonna be right? So yeah, each month will be a different series focus. That doesn't mean that's the only series I read. If I want to try something else, I'm like, I'm not going to shackle myself to my aspirations and goals. But kind of the goal is each month have a choice of what series do I want to focus on this month. So, for example, January, season 2 of Free Run Beyond Journey's End is coming out. Massive fan of that series. I own, I think, all of the volumes that are currently out now, but I haven't read them all. And I'm thinking, well, I'm going to want to watch season 2. So why don't we have January be a focus on just reading and getting myself up to date with the Free Run series. In October, I really want to read and finish the Girl from the Other Side series. I'm about halfway through it. I'm really enjoying it, but I keep not finishing it when I know I have all the volumes. I don't know what it is. I think it's that weird thing that certain people get with counting graphic novels and manga to your reading goal. Like, you know, there's always those people that's like, you can't have read all those books. And even if you did, I bet you just read manga. And you know what? Yeah, who fucking cares? So I just want to get out of that mindset of being like, well, if I just spend most of my time reading manga, does that even count? Because it does. And it's a complete disregard for the amount of work and effort that goes into creating manga if you think that doesn't count. So that's what we're doing. But yeah, in October, really spooky horror series. Want to finish that series. That is a good time to do so. So yeah, that's really the focus. Again, really dialing it back. As I've said many times, and in my old reading, I think in my reading plan in 2025, I spoke about the pressure I put on myself to do all these different things because I just love lists and the ideas of things. And then the practicality of it was I'm burnt out. This time around, I just want to make it as easy as possible. And I'm looking at my very full manga shelves and I'm just like, cool, we need to shake it up. We need to do something different. So yeah, each month will be a different series focus. And sometimes there may not be a series to focus on and I'll just read some from my collection. In general, the focus is to read more manga and graphic novels, but I own more manga. And that's it. That is a super easy, quick, fun video of my goals. I don't think there's anything else that I need to say. I think, I would like to grow more on YouTube and TikTok and Instagram, and that will be fun. But in general, very easy. Going to be a super chill year. I'm excited to see what the year has in store. I've already got 1 5-star in the bag, so yeah, we'll see.